friends, Bill Baker here, host of the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show, found right here on 103.5 FM, The Sun, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Hey, when I'm not on the radio, I'm working with folks just like you to help them buy and sell homes. I'm proud to say that my team, the Baker Realty Group, has been helping people buy and sell homes in the greater Sun Prairie area for over 10 years. Information about buying and selling a home is available on my website, thebakerrealtygroup.com, on Facebook by searching the Baker Realty Group, or by calling 608-575-6731. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show with Bill Baker and Laura Stanfield. Brought to you by the Baker Realty Group.
Welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Bill Baker, and glad that you could be here on a Wednesday. Yes, that voice that you hear is a little rough.
Aww.
I think it's a something that's happening, and I'm not sure what it is yet, but I've got like an upper respiratory thing, I
It's
think.
not COVID,
Oh,
right?
God, no.
Okay.
Herpes, but not COVID.
Oh,
or
God,
something.
that's too much information.
No, I don't.
Don't do that.
Well, it's funny because you know, every time somebody gets sick, the first thought is it COVID?
Do you have COVID?
Is
Yeah.
it COVID? No, because my antibodies have attacked COVID and won.
Nice. You fought the law and the
I
law
fought
won.
the law
That's a different
and
thing.
law won.
It's a good song.
Here you're listening to 103.5 WLSP, The Sun, right here in beautiful Sun Prairie. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie, the Baker Realty Group, and of course, Wintrust Mortgage. Hey, that lady that you hear on that voice, that other voice, that very feminine voice, is the amazing, the incredible, the world's greatest mortgage banker, Laura Stanfield from Wintrust Mortgage. Good morning.
That was a really long introduction, or it felt like it.
You're
Good
worth
morning.
it. You're worth it.
Oh, nice.
Hey, good morning to you. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's happening in your
Feels
world?
like Government Day.
Yes, it
The
is.
sun is shining. There's no snow on the ground. It's not
Well,
raining.
Just give it a few hours.
There's all that. That's good stuff.
I gotta start mowing the yard.
Mm. Mm.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Get my pond going.
You need help with that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna help you with that.
Yeah.
We'll get that pond going.
I would ask Dina for help with that, but she's not here anymore, so
Oh, okay.
that's okay.
She's
Well,
gone?
she had a pond business, right?
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Where's Dina? Dina Weber?
Florida.
Which Dina?
Weselka? Am I saying that right?
Oh, absolutely.
She's the one that had the pond business.
Yeah.
hmm But yes, anyway, I would like help because I don't know what I'm doing.
We can do that.
Pumps and stuff.
We can make that happen.
Mm.
Hey, we've created this show just for you, and what it's about is teaching you, educating you on the buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And we want to give you all the latest updates and trends that are going on in real estate to help you with those decision-making processes. And we got some good stuff today. We're going to talk. Going to bring you up a little bit about what the market's doing for April and where I see the trends going. We're going to talk a little bit about wealth building. We can't get enough of that. I want you to have wealth building in your mind.
Yeah.
If you're already a homeowner or you want to be a homeowner, I want to talk to you about that. We're going to talk about the build-to-rent market that's happening. It is happening right here in Sun Prairie with the Heyday group that's out there off of Bristol and Eggery.
Okay.
Bird and Eggery. That could be Bristol and Eggery. That's Bird and Eggery. And also going to talk about multi-generational housing. I have a client right now that's looking to do that, and I know it's a new trend that's occurring in across the United States, and so
It is.
it is. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Multi-generation being one where you may live with your parents may live with you. Kind of works out kind of nice. I mean, especially when you have like nursing homes and independent living, and the cost of that $7,000 to $9,000 a month.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they're hard to get into anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Staffing issues there too.
Sure.
Everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, but so mortgage rates. What are we doing there? Are they at 6.5? Where are we floating?
Low
right?
sixes.
Low sixes now. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, if we could get into the fives.
You want to get into the fives?
I do. I could be wrong, but I just think it'd be easier for people to let go of their 3% rates if we could get down just a little bit further
Yeah, I
in
think
the 5 range.
I don't know. We've talked about this often about the that mindset of being stuck at 3% or whatever, and we have to get out of that thing. We got to get past that mindset.
Well, what's your motivation, right? Like, are you perfectly happy where you are?
Sure.
Then that's a different thing.
Yeah.
If you're not and you're stopping because of
Huh?
a 2% difference maybe in rate, if we can get there,
Sure.
is that enough to stop you?
Yeah, but here's what I want you to think about. And again, I apologize for my voice. It's all on my chest and all that stuff.
Don't apologize for that.
Man, I just feel like I've smoked like 100 packs of Camels or
Oh
something.
gosh, I hope not. Lucky strikes.
Yeah, I wasn't a smoker. Never been a smoker.
Good.
Smoked pot, cigars and that, but you know, who didn't back in the 70s?
Well, and now too, right? It's
Gummies. It's now gummies.
gummies. Sunnyside, right? And
I know.
Beloit?
Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not that I have firsthand experience, but I have friends who.
Hey, good morning, Mary Polinsky, Gary Scott. Glad you guys did come on and watch the show. I really appreciate you being here. What we're talking about with the interest rates, here's what I want you to think about. Okay, as those interest rates rise or lower, they drop down.
Mhm.
What else is going to happen with current home sellers?
Well, I hope they put more homes on the market.
More
If the
home-
inventory increases.
Exactly. When there's a larger supply of homes and demand is the same, what happens?
Evens out a little bit.
Their
The
value
craziness
drops.
goes away.
Pricing will drop.
Yeah.
And so if you, for 1% and you lose $10,000 in equity, where is that good? Well, I'm telling you it's not.
We've talked about the cost of waiting.
Right.
There's a couple different ways that plays in.
Sure.
So you're losing equity, really.
Sure.
And you talked about wealth building. I'm glad you're going to talk about that today.
Well, it's all about you because you are such a firm believer in that, and especially with the Homebuyers Roundtable, right?
Mhm.
And you've worked so hard over the years. What, 10 years? 12 years?
Oh, more. We're getting close to 20.
Are you still like the head muckety muck for that?
The president? No.
Yeah, you're not the
I
president
was
anymore?
for 3 years. That's enough. That's enough. I'm good.
Well, it's a great organization, and it helps people start their journey in wealth building, and we'll get more to that in a second. But let's talk about the market and what's going on. If you are following any type of national media at all, you're going to hear that pricing is falling, that prices are dropping, and they are in certain areas, not in Sun Prairie. And so we're going to talk about that. Be careful what you hear on the news. Be careful what you're following. And what I want you to do is say, call me. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Or listen to our show weekly and you'll know.
Real estate is local. That's why you need to know what's going on in your area, the area you're planning on buying in.
Absolutely. And you have to be aware of this. If you're not aware of it, you will lose. You will lose. You'll either pay too much or sell too low. And I'm going to give you an example of selling too low today.
Okay.
And so what we're doing. So right now, if you go out there and you look on any of those magical websites that like to show you everything.
Magical?
Yeah, they're magical because they are so fantasy. But like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, it would show right now that there are 47 houses on the market for Sun Prairie. Actually, there are only 32 houses available.
Well, that's actually better, though.
Wait.
That's up.
Wait,
No?
it
Okay,
gets
wait.
better. Wait, there's more. Of that 32, the average selling price is $563,537. The median price is $563.57 also. So
How many are new construction?
Oh my gosh. There are actually, of that 32, only 14 are actually available, folks.
Yeah.
And this is where the median and everything drops. It goes down to a median of 514. 514 still doesn't help us much. But here's what I want you to know. Here are the 4 lowest prices. $249,900, $329,900, $384,000, $399,900.
$249.9, huh?
Jones Street. That's going to be like $280 probably or more. That's just a low price to set up. It's a decent house, and it will sell over asking price. That is a bidding war. That price range is a bidding war. Even a 329, but haven't seen that yet. I want to talk about it that there were so far month to date. There have been 12 houses that have been sold. Of those 12, 5 have competing offers, making that 42% of all solds have a competing offer. Now get this. Here's the 4 of the 5. 299.9 sold at 316. That's 16,000 over asking, 5% increase. The next one is 299.9 sold for 341. That's 42,000 over asking, or 14% over. We have one at 490, and then the next one is 349.9. Get this, Laura, sold at 346. It was 3,900 below asking.
Interesting.
About 1% basically. And then the last one, 419.9, sold at 433, 13,000 over. 3% being above the asking. So here's what you need to know. Of the 4 I just gave you, the one that sold below asking, there's one thing that's very clear. No realtor. It's exactly right. There is no reason why that house should have sold for 346. It should have been higher. But because they decided to sell it themselves, they didn't understand the market. And I'm not making an assumption. I know the numbers. I know the house. And this should have sold probably 352, 355. But because there was no realtor. A knowledgeable
why
realtor.
do you need a realtor in a seller's market, right? I can do it myself and save a ton of money.
Oh, exactly. Good luck with that. You know?
Well, you might want to just say that again. People don't know how to price properties. How do you know how to price a property if you're not a realtor?
Because they went to Zillow and they looked up Zestimate.
Cool. That works.
Or here's the ploy I get once in a while. They invite a real estate agent in to give them the price. Yes. And then they turn around and do it themselves.
Hey, thanks for the info. Now I know what to sell it for. Okay, but I shared a story. It was a long time ago, but it still sticks in my mind. A friend who did it that way and regretted it and said she would never ever sell another home without a realtor because it wasn't a lot, but just a few things came up in the inspection and some other stuff that she had to figure out how to negotiate. She has no experience in negotiating. And it ended up costing her a lot more money because the buyer got what they wanted.
So I'll give you an example, and it's going to happen this Friday, is that I have a transaction closing Friday, and the seller was what?
Was what?
For sale by owner.
Yeah, okay.
And is selling between 5,000 and 8,000 lower than market.
Oh,
and
I don't know what they're doing.
No, and the buyer of that property sold his property above market, and he's coming in with this, and he's just really grateful.
He had a realtor.
And he's got me.
There you go.
When you have me, the sun is shining.
Oh, like today.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know. It's something else, but it's just a true thing. But you got to be careful, because I'm going to give you this caveat every week that we're out there. Not every realtor, not every mortgage banker, not every banker is the same.
No.
And you need to do your homework. This is the largest investment that you have, or you're making probably the largest investment of your life. Have somebody that knows what they're doing. Now, how do you determine that? Well, you got to talk to people. Ask for referrals. And then don't just stick on that. Go further. Dig deeper, as I say.
Look at their reviews.
Look at their,
how long they've been in the business.
I don't know, I know agents that actually stack their reviews.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Of course.
I do. Just talk to them. Ask them how they came up with their information. Where'd they get their numbers? Ask them questions. Go deeper.
Yes.
Go deeper on this.
I agree. Prove to me that you're a professional in your field.
Right.
How can you do that?
Sure. Had a buyer this week on Monday. I went out to look at a house. She's in Florida. She's moving back. just sold her house in Florida, made $1 gazillion on it.
Good.
And her mom, and then we did a FaceTime, and we walked through the house, and I'm her buyer agent, and so she says, what do you think of the house? I said, they have 3 offers in hand, but I think the price that it's set at currently would be a good price, but I wouldn't buy it. And she's like, well, why?
Yeah.
And this is going to be a multi-generational thing also, where the parents are coming in. I said, your bedrooms are too small. We've already showed you several shortcuts that they've made in the house. I mean, 2 colored countertops.
And it wasn't on purpose?
And it's not granite. No, I don't know.
Oh.
No. It was purposeful because they put it down, didn't they?
Well, unless, I don't know, something hodgepodgey, you just never know.
I know. So I actually gave her the information for her to say, no, I think I'll pass. And it was a nice house. It just was not to her standards.
Well, that's what I've heard people say a lot, that like whatever is out there, I feel like is a fixer-upper, whatever I look at, and these are like varying price ranges. So I don't know what's going on out there. Just people think I can sell it. I don't have to do anything to it.
Yeah, we were at 440.
Yeah,
444.
Oof.
Oofed up.
Years ago, that would have been a like luxury type home, right?
Absolutely.
High-end finishes and yeah.
Exactly. But so you just be careful, please be careful. You have questions, get a hold of me. I'll help you through the process, and of course there's no obligation. So Laura will do the exact same thing. I love when I don't care if you're working with me or somebody else. I want you to check with Laura, because what you think you know isn't probably what you really should know.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of misinformation out there about rates and payments, and it actually came up in a group earlier that there's the loan level price adjustment stuff that's like official, although lenders have kind of had it built in for a couple of months because we know it's coming. But not all that pertains. You said not all lenders are the same. We're not. So there's a couple of those we do not pass along, those pricing adjustments, because we don't believe in it. I don't think most lenders, I don't know of any other lenders that are doing that. But there are also nuances between, if you put, and this isn't a one-size-fits-all, the matrix that we have to work with now is like, I don't.
How's that again? Sound like a hairball.
Yeah, I don't like spreadsheets. It's not my thing. What? It's not gross.
Give it to me.
No.
Love that stuff.
I'll memorize the differences. That's what I do, so I can explain it to people. But it's been that way for a while. For example, that if you put 20% down.
People, that's a spreadsheet.
Yeah, gross. So if you put 20% down, don't have mortgage insurance. That's the goal of a lot of people. I don't want to pay mortgage insurance. I get it. It doesn't do anything for you. However, you can get a better rate if you put 15% down than if you put 20% down. So you might pay a tiny amount. It's not that much. If your credit's good, it might be $20 to $40 a month. It's not that big a deal. And you can still pay a large amount towards your principal and get it removed.
Well, Lawrence Yoon recently said that, talking about home buying process, that he felt that a 680 credit score is a good credit score.
It used to be considered like the higher end of credit scores,
well,
and now it's
last week.
780. Yeah, well, that's not what but the entities that create these loan level price adjustments, I'm convinced, are just in it for bringing in the dough.
Well, they're looking at actually setting up some different cost rates based upon your credit score. Your credit score,
your equity position, your debt to income ratio, your property type, all of these things.
Who's making the money? That's what I want to know. Somebody's making the money.
Fannie and Freddie Mac. Yep.
So we're talking about the pricing. I want you to know that right now the pricing currently in Sun Prairie for the month, we're right around $447 is the sold price of what's going on. That price is up 4.7% over last April. There's only been 12 sales. Last year there were 42. And last April, 51 houses were listed. We're at 27. We've got, 3 more days? Today, Thursday, and Friday. We could get through, that'll be 3 days for closings, but you'll have 5 days for listings. So we're not going to come close to that. So we'll probably see a good 20% drop in the number of solds again, which is important. And you got to gather all this information. As I showed on to Facebook World, that my spreadsheets, I do this every week and I check them every day.
You like this stuff.
I do.
I think you're bizarre, but okay.
I like, well, that's why you love me so
There
much.
is a lot of information in here, though, that's very useful.
Well, 28 days on the market compared to 17. At 28 days,
Lengthening.
well, it's lengthening because of new construction, and that's not a real number. It's more like 6
days on the market?
6 days on the market, which is something
Wow.
else. So, yeah.
Yeah, I heard, what was Ann mentioned in a meeting this morning, I think sales are down 26% year over year.
No.
I don't know if that's exact.
Negative.
Ghost Rider.
As of March, in the city of Sun Prairie, our sales are down, about 21% actually.
In Sun Prairie.
In Sun Prairie.
Her number might have been I don't know if it was state. So you have to know where your numbers are coming from. Is it state? Is it
Exactly.
national? Is it,
Exactly.
yeah, Midwest?
Now, I'm so crazy that I break it down by neighborhood.
You are crazy.
Well, I do that because one neighborhood could sell well, and another neighborhood maybe a little bit not so well.
Well, yeah.
And so you'll know the pricing on that. And if I'm going to represent you as a buyer agent, I got to know that market.
Yes.
And so if you got a hot market, you better come. They call it high and hard. High price and drive. Do whatever you can to get that business. Right now, we've got almost 50% of sales are having competing offers. So you should be pre-approved. And not to the point of pre-approved, to the point of being approved, waiting for choice and an appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Title and appraisal. And sometimes an appraisal is not necessary, by
Right.
the way.
Yeah.
So maybe just title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be pre-approved, please. Don't assume you're okay. Get all your stuff into a lender. Don't listen to pre-qualifications. I don't know of any lenders that are talking about those anymore. That's just goofy.
I know, right?
Pre-approval, which means your credit's been pulled, and yes, you need to have your credit pulled.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a hard pull.
Uh-huh.
And yes, you'll probably lose a couple points. If your credit score is pretty strong, you
You'll be fine.
sometimes, yeah, it's minimal, if any. So yeah, and then make sure that you're turning in all of your stuff.
Uh-huh.
Pay statements, W-2s, taxes if needed.
Get them ready. If you're looking to buy, get everything ready.
You got to be ready.
Get
You
'em
got to
ready.
move fast, and your lender needs to be able to advocate for you
Right.
that it's all done. They are approved. They're ready. There's
Right.
nothing. We're not like shooting in the dark.
Right.
They're good.
Right.
You need that. It's really, really important.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. So let's talk about wealth building, because this is something that's very dear to you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And wealth building is a way of building your wealth through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
An example I like to use is this: when you buy real estate, you have you're not, if you're buying a $400,000 home, you're not putting out $400,000 of your own money. You might put out, in my example, I'll use $10,000 as a down payment. You're looking at me like
I'm just listening.
deer caught in headlights.
I'm listening.
I thought it was my voice and you're trying to hear me.
I can hear you
Hear
just
me
fine.
fine.
It's just lower than usual.
Man, I tell you, something else, isn't it? So if you're buying let's say you're buying a $400,000 house, you're putting 10% or $10,000 down, and at the end of the year, the appreciation value of that home is 5%. So 5% of the $400,000, because you get the value of the complete value of the home, is $20,000. You just made $20,000. So if you turn around, you can sell the house and capture that $20,000. Or you might be able to eliminate your P&I.
And that's in a year.
Right, in 1
So-
year. So then if we look at that and do the $10,000 that you would have used to buy a home, and you put it into the stock market with a 5% annual yield, you're at $500. Just remember, the wealth is built on the total value of the home and not your down payment.
Right.
Now, people say, well, I really don't, those taxes and everything and all that. Well, you know what? Yeah, stop it. Stop it.
Just stop it.
Yeah, just stop it. If you can get if we do it by payments, and the payment is equal to what your mortgage would be, it's a win.
Yeah.
If your payment is a little bit higher than your rental payment, it's still a win,
Mm-hmm.
because it all works its way out.
Well, you own it. What are your values? What do you want? What do you need? Do you want to own? Do you want to like build wealth and have that as a vehicle for you later on in the next house you want to buy or your retirement? There's a lot of ways you can use the equity, right? Or buying a home isn't for everybody. Maybe to you it seems overwhelming. Like you don't know how to fix things. Neither do I. So you pull up YouTube or you get on Nextdoor and you see the plethora of handymen that are out there going, hey, I can fix faucets, I can fix toilets, I can, and some of them are reasonable. So you don't have to.
And
you just get your tribe.
Right.
You get your people together.
So now I'm going to challenge you on something.
Oh boy. Bring it.
You said the words, you own it.
You own it.
And I'm going to say you don't own it.
Well, you're going to say because there's a mortgage on it.
There's a
The
mortgage.
bank owns it.
The bank owns it. And
The house is deeded in your name. You own it.
If you don't make the payments on that house, what happens?
Well, you won't own it.
Well, who will own it?
The bank.
The bank will own it. Yep, absolutely.
Well, so again, what's your comfort level? You're paying what in rent right now if you're renting, or you have a home right now, here's your house payment. What are you comfortable with? I have that conversation constantly, and it's something I've always focused on. Like my computer, the data in my computer can say you can buy a house for $500,000. Here's your payment. Do you like that payment?
Yeah.
What are you comfortable with? All right, let's back that up a little bit. When I know your payment, I can back it into your price range, and then it's more comfortable. But people do often get out there and start looking too and go, oh, well, based on what I'm seeing, I can't really find what I like in that range, and I can afford a little more.
Right.
I think it just gives you like a home base, something to start from, and then maybe you're going to have a car paid off in a couple months, and you feel better about a higher payment, or you got a raise, or whatever it is. But it's just kind of like a thought process you have to work through.
Then the second side of this is if you already own a home, and if you bought a home in the last 5 years, you're sitting on some dough. You got some geeters, some cash. It's sitting on the value of that home, and what I'm going to suggest is go buy another one and rent it. Rosette Kobe is a great one for that. I think she owns 3 or 4 of them, and she loves to build off that equity and goes and buys another home and rents it out. And she'll get anywhere the market value for a home, for a single family home, and so she'll get, depending on the type of home, $1,500 to $2,800.
I don't know if it was her that put something out there about one of her properties that was for rent, and then she put the rent out there, and people have some really rude things to say.
Oh, I know.
There was a lot of just laughing at her, why would you charge that much? And I was thinking, that's reasonable. I don't think they understand what market rent is, the ones that are laughing. Good for her.
It's like those people that were watching Noah build the boat.
Right.
And they said, no, when it's going to rain, get out of here.
The doubting Thomases.
And then it rained. And they're like, no, you got an extra room in there?
And it did more than rain. Yeah.
Somebody left the faucet on. To see God's
several bathtubs.
Water bill on that.
Oof. Well, God can make things happen or disappear or whatever. Yeah, anyway.
So another idea, buy your second property. And if you've never done this before, we can help you. You've got to work with a realtor that knows how to evaluate the property and just set up everything. Because you're going to make cash off your monthly payments, and you're also going to make cash in through your appreciation of that property. It's how you buy it. And not all realtors know how to do that.
Well, you need to know what your ROI is, your return on investment, right? So how much rent can you charge? What is market rent? There's a lot of things you don't know. How much down payment money do you have to have? All of this stuff.
If you don't want to be a landlord and you want to invest in real estate, reach out to me. I've got groups of investors that they take your cash, they put you into a fund because they own a group of properties, and then you get a return off that. Again, you're profiting from the investment because they're going to take your cash, use it for a few years, pay you on a quarterly basis, and then they'll sell the property. And then you make money off the sale of the property. And so,
Is this REI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Walters is one of them. Another one is Tony Hazinski is a good one. Chris Hake is another one.
Lindsay
Hagens
yeah.
is another one. So there are a lot of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one I want to talk about is what I want you to think about is if you got a kid going to college,
Mm-hmm.
buy them a rental property and let them live in it and manage it.
Yeah.
Live in it and manage it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make, if you get 3 or 4 guys in there, gals or whatever, which will end up being like 6. But you're gonna, you can pull in $700 to $1,000 a bedroom down in Madison.
Offset your mortgage.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then set it up as a corporation, which is easy to do. Our favorite attorneys like to do that, and
Yep.
then make it an income stream for your kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
And so the business is we'll set it up that way.
Really good skills.
It is.
Money management, investments,
Yeah.
wealth building skills at a young age.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parents that do that, especially with UW.
Well, you need to do
Students.
more of it because
Well, it's hard to find properties right now to do that with, though.
anything good is hard to find. Anything good is hard to find. What you got to do.
It doesn't mean you give up on it, though.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is, if you're sitting back and waiting for it to pop on the multiple listing service, that's the wrong person to be working with. You got to have the person like myself that interacts with the other investors, and what we do is we'll talk about what's coming up on the market, what they have before it hits the market.
There you go. That's what you need, especially in this market.
Yeah, absolutely. But so you have a good opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody that may have cash, but they don't want to be building or a landlord again in a big way, you get into these groups, and one of the things we want to talk about is what's called build to rent. Build to rent are homes that are built, single family homes. They're not sharing a wall or anything, and they are going to house families. And your rent on these are going to be anything from about, I don't know, $2,500, $3,500. And we have a development like that that's going to happen out on Bird and Eggery. That's going to be out there, I want to say it's 180 units that they're putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cool houses. They're very much a single family home. They're going to have quite a few upgrades to them. So you're going to be comfortable. It's going to be 3 or 4 bedroom homes. And
People can own.
They're
renting.
They're going to rent them, but you can get into a group, like the Haiti group that's doing this out of Chicago, I think it is. They're going to put these out there and make $1 gazillion off of it. It's just a great way to do it.
Actually, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, what's interesting is they call them BTRs, or build to rent. And what we found is that in the second quarter of 2022, a 91% increase occurred compared to the second quarter of the year before in these properties, because they want a more upscale rental property. They, our buddy Scott rented for like 4 or 5 years. He didn't want to own a
where
house.
did he rent?
He was downtown Madison.
See, there's a
penthouse.
difference. Why Eggery and Sun Prairie? How are these luxury apartments that people are? It's not buy anything.
I didn't say they were luxury.
Oh, higher end, upper scale.
I didn't say they were upscale either.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did not. I said $2,500 to $3,500.
In rent.
Yes, in rent.
Why?
Because
There's
they
nothing
can.
there. There's fields.
Well,
And it's not even close to anything. It's not
Bucket
walkable.
Honeys.
Okay, that's it. What else? Shop at the
Bucket
gas
Honeys.
station right there?
BP, come on, man.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Next to Prairie Athletic Club. Kind of cool.
It's not next to.
Well, it's kind of.
It's about a mile or so away.
Get
but
some
it's all right.
exercise. Well, you gotta get those steps in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. This is dumb. Who would pay? I would never in a million years pay that much money for an apartment out in the country.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but there's gonna be people, and they're more millennials that are there, that are gonna do this because they don't want to own. They're just not in that mindset of owning.
Okay, I get it, but millennials want to be where the action is.
Well, they can drive to it.
They want to be where the action is. Walkable. That's why a lot want to be downtown, because that's where the action is.
Really what they're getting is kind of a taste of home ownership, new home ownership, without the upfront costs, the commitments, or anything like that. Well, it's that market you have to address. I mean, well, how many people right now have been taking rental properties, or apartments that want to buy, but they can't get a house, and so
For
they're
what?
but then they're taking a house or an apartment that's less than what they actually want.
Like maybe
They
it's
can afford
temporary until they can find something on the market. I just have to have a place to live right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. To each his own. Not everybody has the same housing needs. I get that, but that just doesn't make sense to me in any world. If we're downtown Madison or in a trendier area, maybe like Atwood or something like that, where there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Hey, this is Sun Prairie. We got it.
I love Sun Prairie,
We got
but
it all
that's
going on. We got a
not-
bus system coming through here now.
Okay.
What a waste. So who's renting this? Homeownership remains the overwhelming desire of Americans. In a survey released by Bankrate last year, 74% of Americans call home ownership a part of the American dream. But the percentage was lower for younger adults, many of whom cited high prices, low inventory, and an inability to save for a down payment as barriers.
Yeah.
So there's your clients. Yep. Built-to-rent prices generally run slightly more than prices for apartments of comparable size and quality. They found that renters will pay a 10 to 20% premium regardless of the market. And the projects rent for between $2,500 and $3,500 monthly. Yeah. Townhomes priced at $15,000 to $2,000. Yeah.
Okay, that's a little more reasonable.
Well, in your world.
No, just you're renting, again, it's the amenities.
Uh-huh.
What's the reason why you're paying that much money to be out in the country in a rental
Right.
in a small town?
But there are people that we know that do not want to own. If they don't, they now have a product that they can use to rent until they come to their senses and
Buy.
they start paying themselves, you know.
Well, what you were saying before, I was talking with a young guy the other day who was actively looking, and it's just tiring. We know it's
Yeah.
hard out there. So he said, I think I'm just not going to buy for probably at least 3 years, maybe 3 to 4 years. And I said, well, tell me more. Like, why? Why would you make that decision? Because I signed a year's lease. Okay, you can probably sublet, talk to your landlord, maybe you stay in the market. We might be moving out of the area in that amount of time. And I said, okay, like that makes sense too. If you told me you were going to do it in a year or two, I would probably definitely say you might want to think about it. But if you're going to be here 3 or 4, and at a minimum, home price appreciation is 3 to 4% through the next 3 to 4 years, that's conservative.
Yeah, it's really concerning.
Yeah. So let's just say though, at a minimum, think of the money, think of the equity that you could be building.
I'm with you.
If you bought now. So I wish people would be more in the mindset of, I have nothing to lose. Why don't I stay in the market and look and see what comes on? Maybe nothing.
Right.
Maybe something. But I'm in it and I know I want to buy.
Right.
So that way I can jump on it. I don't get I'm exhausted, I hate it, I'm just going to rent, I'm done, I'm out. Just personality stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
I know
I agree.
it's exhausting. I get it. It is really hard. But if your goal is to own, you can make it happen.
Sure.
Don't leave the market.
Exactly. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But-
And like interest rates, right? So
Uh-huh.
interest rates aren't low, but
Right.
they're not that bad.
No.
And if they come
No.
into the 5s,
Well, see, I think that's our problem, is that we don't say that they're not low. They are low.
they are low. And honestly, when you talk to people in general, it's already clicked in. Like it's the mindset. Rates
Yeah.
are high. That's what I hear all the time. Rates are high. Are they high?
Yeah.
What's high?
Right.
What's your payment? That's what you need to figure out. And anyway, if you're waiting for rates to come down while your house that you could own is appreciating, really? Like the difference in the rate
Sure.
versus how much you could be making in
Right.
home price appreciation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, date the rate, marry the house. You know, you can look at it this way. I used to weigh 125 pounds in college. I'm at 235
Sorry.
now, and I'm not going back there.
Probably not.
It's
well, if you
physically
do,
not
there's
possible.
something not right. You
Well,
don't
yeah,
want that either.
it would kill me.
Mhm.
Your body just won't allow it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so our rates are low compared to our parents
Yeah.
that paid 17, 18%.
Yeah.
You know, I talked
And
to my
yes,
dad
house
about that.
prices were lower, but incomes were lower, you know, like
Right.
all of it was.
Right.
Yeah.
But their rate was high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! And my dad was saying they borrowed money from my grandparents to buy down the points back then to make it more affordable.
Yeah, see, points have been a thing forever, but people just don't understand them.
Right.
I don't think lenders do a good job of explaining them.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
They're afraid to tell people prices and stuff.
Well, I think isn't it always better to be transparent, because it's got to
Yeah.
show up on the documents at some point. So do you
Sure.
just hope and pray they won't read
Yeah.
it, they'll just sign it,
Uh-huh.
and they'll never know?
Uh-huh.
Is that a good way of going about doing business?
No, negative. Negative. Hey, something that Laura and I are experiencing, and I know Terry's experiencing it also, is that our parents are aging, and their needs are changing also. My father is a widower, and my mom's been gone for 2 years. He's living in the house that my mom and he shared. It's a large home. It's a 3-bedroom house.
Mm.
It is ranch style. And at 83 and his medical things he's going through, it's probably time for him to find that independent living kind of scenario that allows him to live comfortably, socialize if he chooses to, have meals brought in, have transportation to doctor's appointments, things like that. And and what's happening in my life is my sister and I are traveling back and forth to Kentucky on an alternating basis just to see him.
Yeah.
Does he need to see us? No. My dad's like, you don't have to come down here all the time. I'm like, don't you want to see me? He says, I love seeing you. He says, but I know how much of a strain it is for you.
Yeah.
And so what's happening across the country is a thing called multi-generational housing. And what that means is that the parents are moving into the house with you. You're sharing a space with them.
Yeah.
And it's something that is sweeping the country. Something that you should think of. And some of it has to do with the cost of care. Some of it has to do with cost of housing.
Yep. Inability to get into a facility, perhaps.
No, there's another one. That's exactly right. In the 12 months ending in July 2022, multi-generational purchases made up 14% of all homes that were sold, rivaling the recessionary times of 2012 and 2013. In this short-term trend brought on by high prices, rising inflation, and also that long-term care problem that's happening out there. And like I said, you want to go to a nursing home or even assisted living, you're talking $7,000 to $9,000 a month.
Yep.
And so we have what's called ADUs, which is accessory dwelling units.
Right.
And it is a priority here in Sun Prairie in their overall plan for housing, senior living spaces, and adaptable single-family homes. They have to be available because everything is changing. Everything is changing. And so something to think about, folks, if you're out there. My situation, I live too far away, and I'm not moving to Kentucky.
Where is your sister again?
Chicago.
Yeah, so, and he's not willing to move closer?
He's not going to go to Chicago. He
Yep.
won't come to Wisconsin. My aunt is in Alabama, which is even closer, and he refuses.
Home is home.
Home is home. He doesn't want to leave
Yeah,
that home. That was
I
his,
get
he shared that home with my mom, and it's hard. Well, in your situation, your mom's down in Illinois, and and you're struggling with that also, and
I tried to get her to move, and that's even just one state away, and she said no way.
yeah, said no
No
way.
way, yeah.
And I feel for him. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand exactly. Terry's dealing with it down in Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Her mom's had a couple of strokes. She had a fall, and if Terry's sister hadn't been to the house, she'd still be laying there.
I bet you I was just thinking about that. All the people, the snowbirds, who, and maybe they eventually just sold their home here and they fully moved to Arizona or Florida or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're here, so these are conversations that we should all be having with our parents. So what happens, when?
Sure.
Then what? Can
Right.
we start talking about it now so we can have a plan in place? Because inevitably something's going to happen, and if nobody lives where they live,
Right.
family,
Exactly.
what are they going to do?
Right.
People don't think about it, and I
No.
get it. You just want to go where you can live the rest of your life as happy as you possibly can. But things just go wrong with our bodies, unfortunately.
I hate when that happens.
I know. Yeah.
I hate when
They weren't built to last.
No,
Sad.
I know.
Is that a question for God?
It is. God, why don't you
Yeah.
make us... No, I don't want to live forever.
New and improved model?
But the thing is, it's the stubbornness also of the person. And I think I actually believe it's an insecurity.
Well, it's
Of
just
the
where
unknown.
you're comfortable. Well, for sure. Who doesn't resist that?
Right.
Humans resist change,
Sure.
period. And
Absolutely.
when you're moving out of your comfort zone, especially at
Yeah.
that age,
Uh-huh.
that's just really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something to think of if you're in your 40s or 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You may think about the next home you purchase. Is it going to be a ranch style so mom can live there, or mom and dad, or maybe you're buying your first house. Maybe you want to go ahead and do that. You have grandma there to take care of those youngins.
Youngins,
They're youngins.
if they can.
Yeah. I was. It's a cute story, but we're in Florida. I think I told you the story before. We're in Florida. I'm looking at real estate books like I do all the time. We go somewhere. They still make those darn books, so I'm flipping through.
Who makes those books anymore?
I don't know, but they're all,
Really?
they got the little stand at a restaurant stuff.
Goodness.
So I'm looking
Oh,
at
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting, and Marilyn sees me looking at this book. She said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Man, real estate down here is pretty comfortable." I said, "These are nicely priced properties. I mean, it'd be a good buy down here." She looks at me and she says, "Don't you think you should wait?" And I said, "Well, what are you
what?
talking about?" She goes, "Don't you think you'll be getting a house one day?" I'm like, "I don't understand." And I froze in my comment. She's talking about when she dies and what's going to happen with her house.
Oh.
I know, it sounds sad, but her thought process was right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to get a house like that.
Nope.
But so I said to Terry, "So we can move to Florida." She goes, "No, I have JJ. I don't want to be away from the grandson." Wow. Really? I'm away from Liam?
Yeah, Snowbird.
But it's true. Yeah, Snowbird.
Or your brand new whatever. It's only for a week, right?
Yeah.
In Aruba.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, my timeshare?
Yeah, your timeshare. That's what I was
Oh,
saying.
man.
It wasn't
I
coming.
tell you. Hey, in the last few minutes, we have about, I don't know, 12 minutes ago. I want to talk to you about what Laura and I are going to be involved with today. And it's the Realtor Government Day. And every year, realtors, lenders, different aspects of the market get together in Madison and talk about the issues that are affecting people just like you, because you need help. A lot of times you don't even know what's going on, and so the realtors really work hard in trying to correct things or introduce things, and working with a good relationship, building a relationship with our representatives. Now I'm happy to say we've got a great relationship with our state senator, Melissa Agard, and then also our state representative, Melissa Ratcliffe. They listen. I mean, they're very open-minded, and they all want to help with housing. And so we're going to go down and chat. Melissa Agard will not be there. I have talked to her already, and then but Melissa Ratcliffe will be, and she's looking forward to seeing us if we go over to the Capitol. But what's really cool about us not having to go to the Capitol is we talk to them on a routine basis.
Mm-hmm.
And we make them aware. Now, I'll give you an example.
Been here.
Oh, they have. That's
Yep.
right. One of the things that they're looking at, and we're going to be talking about, is the Main Street Residential Housing Rehab Loan Program. Funds that repair and rehabilitation of residential rental housing of existing buildings and commercial use. Could be a long-term loan for workforce housing, rental only, located on second and third floor. So there's a lot of different things that are on here that we're going to be looking at. They want to freeze local levy limits, talk about that and how to adjust that more. Look at private infrastructure, financing tools for private investment. Right now, one of the issues we have is the and I'm going to actually put it into a referral for our housing committee, is I want a plan. I want somebody to create a house that's $295,000. Show me the blueprints, show me the plans where you can buy the land and build that house for that.
I have a guy that says he can do it for $310
Who's that?
on Lindsay's floor plans
Oh, really? With a basement or without?
with a basement.
Well, that would be tough to see.
Should get him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The bank is trying to work with him on like getting a line of credit
Sure.
so that he can. This is a rare person who really sees the need, and he could just make a bunch of money because, right? People want new houses right now, but he wants to help people be able to build turnkey so that he can help the segment of the population that doesn't have the 10, 15, 20% down to do a construction loan.
Okay.
He wants people to be able to take advantage of first-time homebuyer programs. I mean, it's a rare thing.
Sure.
But when I heard him say that, I was like, wow, all right. Bank might say no, but let's at least see if they're open to it. He sent me his plans, Lindsay's plans, his breakdown, all of his materials, his subs, concrete, all of it for the basement, and I don't know. He says he can do it.
Well, that would be cool to find out and to see that, because that's how you address housing.
Can I see that?
Yeah. The every governmental cycle, politicians talk about affordable housing. They talk about workforce housing, but I never see a plan. I never see anything in place to show me exactly how to do this, other than they take a bunch of millions and throw it at a city or an entity and say, here's your down payment assistance. We have an activity, because it's going to be a fair housing month, or it is fair housing month.
It is.
Here in April. One of the things is going to be a first-time homebuyer seminar in Sun Prairie. Well, I think that's great, but what do we know? There are no first-time homebuyer properties available. There are none.
I know.
There's nothing here to do that. So we're getting the horse.
I wonder what they're going to touch on, like, from a lending point of view. Are they going to talk about programs? Are they going to talk about down payment assistance and education? And
well, that's the thing. First of all, they didn't ask either one of us. That's going to be something.
No, I know.
Both of us. Again, they're going. This is an example where the housing coalition. This isn't the committee. And I think Becky Benz runs this part of it, but she didn't do her homework on who the experts are, because one of the experts in this room is you. You're the one, and you live in Sun Prairie. And then the other one, you would think that they would have me there talking about it. And I'm not saying this egotistically. I'm just saying that you want to have the people that know what's going on.
Well, if it's truly about Fair Housing Month and affordable housing, then that should be. It's not just like any other seminar. It's like, this is about affordable housing.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what went into it, but
I don't either. I'm trying to find out. I haven't gotten a return phone call yet. So the realtor thing I was telling you about, what you need to know is that you have people like Laura and I that are fighting to help you in your life. Is it reducing tax levies? Is it reducing the reliance upon property taxes for our state? I would rather see us do a sales tax, a flat sales tax, and it is in Congress. It's in the state legislature right now, of a 3.5% sales tax. I think that'd be a cool idea.
Nobody's going to love more taxes, but
well, no. But if you cut out your property taxes,
you're talking.
Well, there you go. You know why we want to do that? Because we get more people to move to Wisconsin. More people move to Wisconsin, we can fill the jobs that are vacant. Right now, people, if you're going to retire, a lot of people go to Vegas, or they go to Nevada or to Florida. Why? No property taxes.
Yeah.
And I want to say that Vegas has no income tax. So if we have a flat tax,
where do they get their money then?
Sales tax.
Sales tax.
Room
tourism
tax.
dollars.
Yep, they do. So there's other ways to do that, but right now we've got more people moving out than moving in, and so we need to address that. And I wish I had the legislator's name that has drafted this, but just heard it when I was driving the other day, and it's common sense. Let's build a plan to let people come into Wisconsin, set up a like that flat sales tax. That would be cool. 3.5%. I could do that.
Well, it's like you said, we need some answers. We need some real, like, what can we do? What changes can we make?
Right.
I'm tired of hearing about we have a housing crisis. Okay, what are we going to do to fix it?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So this government day is pretty exciting. It's I enjoy it. I don't know how well I'm going to enjoy it today, but I'll be there, and that's why I'm wearing the suit and tie today. Got to dress up.
I'm sure Wisconsin's not unique in this thing. Is this a nationwide thing?
Yes.
And do they do it the same way, where the legislators will actually meet with you one-on-one to hear what your concerns are, what your issues are that they want you to fight for?
Yeah, and they'll also meet us in a group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll meet.
I love that they do that.
So we'll start out in the Senate chambers, and a lot of the legislators that are supported by the Wisconsin Realtors Association. What I mean by that is they're getting money. And that's fine. It's okay to do that. That's what lobbying is about. They're going to be in that room, and they're going to listen to our concerns. And trust me, they already know. They just want to meet us. And the key is to meet your own legislators and get to know them before you even get to this thing. It's more fun to pick up the phone and call Melissa Ratcliffe and say, hey, going to be at the Capitol. Can't wait to see you.
Mm-hmm.
But
yep, there's got to be a lot of housing discussion because it's such a problem.
Yeah, we got to get something done. That's what I know. That's what I know.
Yepper.
Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the show today. A lot of information, a lot of different information, but just a recap on this. This is a challenging market out there for you as a buyer and for you as a seller. You need to have that expert in your corner. If you're buying a house, you need to have the lender that knows how to get it done. Do not go out of state. Stay local with your lenders. You've got Wintrust sitting right here with Laura. You've got Bank of Sun Prairie. Those are two great aspects right there. That's all you need. One complements the other. Mm-hmm. Look for the realtor, not who you know or your cousin Bert, but the person that knows exactly what the market's doing.
The lender sitting at the bar,
right?
Or the realtor sitting at the bar. I'm there with you. Hey, I do real estate on the side.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So find that out. Find the expert and ask them, and put me on that list. I'll show you the guidelines. I'll show you exactly. I've got the facts, and as Laura will tell you, I study this more than I studied in college.
You're more motivated to study this than you were in college, probably.
That's true. But this information comes to you because you asked for it. You want to have this information in front of you. You want to be aware of it, and we're so proud to be able to give this to you. So when you see us out at Bucket Honey's, Beans of Cream, wherever, do not hesitate to ask us to talk about something. A lot of times we've got to do our research on it. Hey, also, I want to say a happy belated birthday to Donna Bemis. I forgot to do that on Monday. And Donna, we love you. Thanks for listening to the show.
Happy birthday, Donna.
And then also to our friend Teresa Stevens. Today is her birthday.
Happy birthday, Teresa.
Former alder and executive director of the Library Foundation. So happy birthday, Teresa. You ladies are wonderful to this community. Thank you for all that you do. And until next time, we will see you right back here on the radio. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, Sun Prairie.
No.
Right on time.
Bye.